Alright guys, good evening. So today we're going to work on the Metasploit room and learn a little bit about Metasploit. And see if we can deal with my kids. Well, I do it at the same time. So just want to show you a little bit of Wireshark. So this is Wireshark, the network capturing tool. Here you can see a normal handshake. So SYN, SYNAC, ACK. Okay, so normal handshake here, TCP handshake, right? SYN, SYNAC, response, and then the ACK. And you see those kind of all over the place. This was just a capture on my VM here for about 10 seconds. So a ton of packets. And you wonder, like, how does a web server know like what you're running and where you come from and all that? It's just by analyzing the stuff here. So you look inside the packets and you can find what services you're running. Like literally, I'm running VMware. You know, all sorts of stuff in these packets. Okay, so that's just a tiny bit of Wireshark that I want to show you guys. Later on, we'll get into using Wireshark quite a bit to analyze. But for now, really, what we want to get into is the TryHackMe room for Metasploit. So I'm going to go ahead and join the room. So you can see I haven't done this before. There's a video that I'm going to pass for now. And if anybody's here and has questions as we go, feel free to speak up, and I'll give you a holler. Okay, so Metasploit open source pen testing framework, maintained by Rapid7, collection of thoroughly tested exploits. Thoroughly test exploits and auxiliary and post-exploitation tools. And they're going to explore the basics using the framework and the modules it includes in this room. So, hey, there's a virtual machine that can download, and the answer key in a worksheet version of this room, if you want. Kali includes Metasploit by default, and I am running on Kali, so our first task is completed. Fantastic. So now initializing, so let's go ahead and get everything started. Okay, so this is awesome. And if you guys get a TryHackMe subscription, this will be well worth your time. Okay, so the last couple times I did streams, I wound up having connection issues and had to reboot my VM. So I am going to exit out of my VPN right now, and I'm going to go ahead and reboot this thing. And one of these days I'll remember to do it before we start streaming. But today we're going to go through this VM, this TryHackMe room for Metasploit, and see what we can learn. Alright, so here we are. Luckily VMs reboot super quick. But for cleanliness, I'll have to work on that a little bit better for next time. I'll delete some of my old stuff from previous. Okay, so go to the desktop, open VPN. That's where my kids are gonna sneak in here on me. Okay, so let's go to TryHackMe to the Metasploit room. And if you guys ever have questions while you're going through these rooms, the TryHackMe group has a Discord, and they have different help channels based on your subscriber level, so you can always pop in there. They're sometimes a little slow to answer, but they are there. Okay, so here we go. Learning to use Metasploit. So initialize the database. So this is a fresh Kali install, so we're going to do that. why people friend request me in Discord if I don't know who the hell they are. Okay, so there we go. We've initialized the database. Maybe some of the advanced options we can trigger for starting. So MSF console -H will show us that. Specify directories for databases, disable the databases support, load different configuration files, modules, console options, ask before exiting, save the command history, output to a file. Okay, got it. So what switch do we add to show the start? What switch do we add to MSF console to start without showing this information, including the dash? Looks like that's the -Q or -- quiet. So -Q. Yep, got it. Okay, once the database is initialized, go ahead and start. 1 sec, guys. Okay, anyways, one of my sons was screaming at me. Oh my god, I might kill him. Okay, so start via the command MSF console. Alright, so now we are in MSF console. There's 1,914 exploits, 1074 auxiliary, 330 post, 556 payloads, 45 encoders, 10 NOPs, and 4 evasions. Yeah, so that's completed. And now we have a MSF console, basically. So let's check the database status. We are connected to the database. And now it wants us to know what type of database does it use. Well, it uses PostgreSQL. And you can see that right here, PostgreSQL. Alright, so task 2 is complete. One more sec, guys. So I have 3 kids in my house trapped with this COVID scare, and of course, 1 PlayStation. So it's a source of a lot of drama in the house. Okay, so now we're going to use the help manual to learn the base commands. So at the Metasploit prompt, type help. Okay. There's a lot of stuff here. The help menu has a very short 1-character alias. What is it? It's a question mark. So I bet they're going to kind of walk us through it, which is super cool. Okay. What is the base command we use for searching? And it is 6 characters. Oh, we can display an awesome Metasploit banner. Base command for searching. Hey, this Osgod, how's it going, man? Oh, not much, man. We just got started in the Metasploit room on TryHackMe. Trying to find the command for searching. And I might go kill my son. Base command for searching. There's some module commands. Let's see. Let's try search. Okay, once we found the module we want to leverage, what command do we use to select it as the active? That's use, I bet. I bet it's use. Interact with the module. Well, if we want to view information, display information about one or more modules is the info command. Metasploit has a built-in netcat function where we can make a quick connection with those simply to verify we can talk to it. What command is that? So a quick like netcat. Get, grep, help, history, load, quote, repeat, route. Set G, unload and set word. Nope. Database backend commands, probably not there. Creds, developer commands. Yeah, that is what we used yesterday to listen for incoming traffic. You can also use it to send traffic out. There's a built-in module, built-in function, according to this room for Metasploit. So we're basically looking for the same command, but inside Metasploit. No, not really like packet injection. I think it's just a netcat-like command to make sure that we can talk to whatever host we're going to use Metasploit into to upload a payload or upload an exploit to. Let's try connect. Connect says it's used to communicate with a host. Yeah, sweet. Okay. Entirely one of the commands used purely for fun. What command displays the message of the day or ASCII art we see when we start MSF console without the Q flag? I bet it's banner. Display an awesome Metasploit banner. Alright, two of the most used commands. What command do we use to change the value of a variable? Change the value. I bet it's get and get G. Let's see if we're right. Nope. Okay. So then it's set a value variable to a value and set a global variable to a value. Yep. Absolutely right. Okay, and how to view them. Get. Change a value of a variable to nothing, to null. It's unset. Okay, now when performing a pen test, it's quite common to record your screen for further review or for evidence of actions, and this is coupled with the collection of console output to a file. So what command can we use to set our console output to save to a file? Gets value, help menu, grep, show command history. Let's try, no, probably not sessions. Metasploit is not really writing code. So we talked a little bit about exploits yesterday, and if you remember, we downloaded a PHP reverse shell to kind of take over that vulnerability box, right? Metasploit is a software framework and a database of a literal metric ton of exploits that I don't have to go out on the internet and download. So if you look when I started it, Metasploit framework has over 1,900 exploits. And then it's got some auxiliary code and some post-exploitation code. And so Metasploit is what I use, what I can use. It's like an automated framework for sending these exploits. You'll see. You'll see. So how do I set my console output to save to a file? Set console output to save to a file. Yep. Job commands. Resource script. Analyze, database connects. Man, developer commands. Let's try and see if we can do the other one. And what command can we store the settings and active data stores to a settings file? Is the other one we're trying to find. That one might be save. So that one is save. Maybe, I don't think it's history. Console output. It's output. It's just when you load it. It's not. Five characters. Alright, well, we'll figure this out. Route. Maybe route. Nope. Oh, there it is. Jesus, I'm just blind. Spool. Spool is used to save your console output to a file. Boom. Alright, so we're done with task 2, which is basically go through the help section. So now modules for every occasion. Okay, so if you see this image, right, 6 core modules, exploit payload encoder, NOP auxiliary. Right. We'll take a look at the modules. So which module has the exploit code? Guess what? It's probably exploit. Which module contains the various bits of shellcode we send to have executed? Well, that's the payload, and that's the thing we send in. Which module is most commonly used in scanning and verification that machines are exploitable? Probably auxiliary? One of the most common activities after exploitation is looting and pivoting. What module provides those capabilities? Post, right? Kind of what you do after you're in. And 1 second, please. Pivoting. Are you asking what pivoting is? Is that the question? While I wait for that answer, I'll keep on trucking along here. So commonly used in payload obfuscation. What module allows us to modify the appearance of our exploit such that we may avoid signature detection? I bet that's going to be maybe encoder, right? Kind of hiding our exploit. Yeah, pivoting. Okay, so we can talk a little bit about that. So think about your home network. So for me, if you look at my, not trying to show you anything crazy here, but if you look at my home network, right, it's a 192.168.86.32, right? And then my router is 192.168.86.1. So that is my home network. Nothing crazy about there, just internal IP addresses, right? So now if I go out to the Google and I say, hey, what's my IP address? And now you guys can see that I live in Washington State. This 24113882235 is my public IP, right? So this public IP is the IP address of my router, but also 192.168 or yeah, 192.168.86.1 is the IP address of my router. So my router is connected to two networks. Pivoting in this sense is, say for instance, I penetrate a guest Wi-Fi network, right? And you'll have to do this in the OSCP course, where you will penetrate a network, and it might be the network that belongs to accounting or the guest network, and then you will have to find a machine in there that has a dual homed NIC, like this router does, right? Where I basically, from the outside, I attack that 24.113.882.235, this guy up here. I attack my router, and then once I get into it, I do what's called pivoting, where now that I'm in that router, I use my path into that router to attack the rest of the network, this other network, this 192.168.86.1, and its associated machines on that subnet. So pivoting is getting into one machine and using the access to that machine to get onto a different segment of your network. If it's like an accounting network, and then I find a way to escalate my privileges and pivot onto a different subnet that has the servers in it, or something like that. That's the basics of kind of what pivoting is. So let's take a look here. So here we are. Last but not least, which modules use of buffer overflow and ROP attacks? It's NOP. Okay, which command can we use to load different modules? Back info. Load, maybe? Load, it says load a framework plugin. I don't know. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Oh boy, a lot of tasks in this next one. So remember the database we set up in this, we're going to use it for an exploit a victim suite. So this is kind of the fun stuff. So in this point, we haven't touched Nmap in this room, let alone perform much recon on the victim box. That'll all change now as we take a swing at using Nmap within Metasploit. So there's a lot of functionality built into Metasploit. You can do an Nmap scan from within Metasploit. I'll tell you right now, it's slower than just using Nmap, but we'll follow their rooms, directions while we go. Okay, it says it could have up to a 3-minute delay. Metasploit can also import other scans from Nmap and Nessus, just to name a few. Okay, so yeah, they're different flags. They all do the same thing, but the flags, some of them might be a little different. I typically do not use Nmap in Metasploit, but you'll see it run right here. So db Nmap sv, and then my box is IP 10.10.181.238. So I'm using the Nmap module, and I'm scanning for services. Yeah, so see my host is still down. So we'll give it a minute here. And it looks like I'm still connected to the network. Yeah, so if you use this db underscore Nmap, it's the same flags. Again, it tends to run a lot slower because I'm running it through this platform. Metasploit was written, and it does a lot of great things, but it was kind of written to lower the barrier kind of to penetration testing. It makes some things a lot easier, and the unfortunate side of that is you get a lot of people claiming they know a lot of hacking because they can do some stuff in Metasploit. Because it downloads all these exploits, and I mean, you'll see this one. It's going to be pretty easy to exploit a machine. So it's been 2 minutes since I clicked deploy now on that machine, so let's see what we get. I might wait one more minute. Looks like it's taking longer, so host is probably at least up. While we do that, it's going to ask us to, I can click completed on that. We did run that command. It's running right now. So what service does Nmap identify running on port 135? And then we'll see what info we've collected in the database. Metasploit will keep track of discovered vulnerabilities. Okay, so here we go. So here's our Nmap scan services. Did the top 1,000. Or maybe it did all of them, I don't know. Looks like, so what service is running on port 135? It's MSRPC. So MSRPC. And let's go ahead and see what information we've collected in the database. So we're going to try typing hosts now. Hosts. So now you can see that once you load Metasploit, right, it starts tracking everything you've done, which is pretty cool. When you do the OSCP, or penetration with Kali, you're only allowed to use Metasploit on one machine. Everything else you have to do manually. Part of their kind of try harder mentality. Obviously, you don't have to, hey, you are a hacker. There's the man that runs the Discord server that we all hang out in. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, in the OSCP, you can only use Metasploit once. So you kind of have to use it on the box that you can't figure out. Use it on what you hope is the hardest one. Everything else they want you to do manually, like we did yesterday, where we downloaded the PHP reverse shell, found the vulnerability and uploaded it. Right, kind of had to Google find that code. Hopefully that was good code, right? But real life, obviously you can use it whenever you want. Like there's no penalty for using it. So it has tracked that 10.10.181.238 is a host that we have scanned. It's a device. We don't know the operating system. So let's see services. What services has Metasploit identified? So that's kind of cool, right? It identifies that we have on this host, on these ports, these services. Fantastic. So let's try vulns. No vulnerabilities. Hasn't identified any vulnerabilities. But it's worth noting that Metasploit will keep track of discovered vulnerabilities, one of the many ways the database can be leveraged quickly and powerfully. Sweet. Okay, so let's try connecting to it with a so it's identified, to answer your question, it's identified some services as Windows services. It has not gone out and identified the operating system. If we did a TAC O for OS identification in our Nmap scan, then it would probably populate that. So they want us to search for the target payload, simply type use followed by a new unique string. So try this out with the following command: use icecast. Use icecast. Okay, so the Metasploit console, when you browse through it, it's almost like its own little operating system. So it found one, right? It was unique. Found exploit/windows/http/icecast header. The only reason that we know to use this is because the TryHackMe room's telling us to. We would have to scan for more vulnerabilities. While that use command with the unique string can be incredibly useful, that's not quite the exploit we want here. Let's now run the command search multi/handler. Okay. Search multi/handler. What is the name of the column on the far left side of the console that shows up next to name? Probably check. Then go ahead and run the, let's see if I can, oh boy, okay, that makes it a little prettier. We'll just do that. There we go. So let's see. What is the name of the column on the far left side of the console that shows up next to name? It's a number sign. And go ahead and run the command use number exploit next to exploit multi-handler. So we're going to do a use 4. And I bet this is the wanting to put the pound sign there. Okay, so use 4. Okay, so we're basically searching a database for different exploits. And we are going to use this one, because that's what the TryHackMe room tells us to. So now type the command use number from previous question. Okay, that's silly, but oh, I got it. So they wanted us to just answer the question when I read the first one, and then they wanted us to hit use 4, right? Got it. So now let's set the payload using set payload, and we're going to do a reverse TCP shell. So Windows Meterpreter reverse TCP. So set payload Windows/Meterpreter. It will do tab completion if I am patient. reverse TCP. And additionally, let's do set listening host my IP on TryHackMe. So how do I find that out? I go up to access. I could also run an ifconfig, but this is easy, right? My TryHackMe is 10.8.13.209. So 10.8.13.209. Let's go back over here. Okay, so we're using reverse shell, so we're going to listen again, right? And I can check it like that. Should be your ton 0, 10.8.13.209, 10.8.13.209. Okay, so that's complete. So now we'll go ahead and return to our previous exploit, run the command use icecast to select it again. Great. Okay, and then we're going to set our host box IP, which is 10.10.181.238. Okay, so I'm basically using this software framework to choose an exploit. I picked a reverse TCP shell, and I'm telling it to, hey, I'm going to listen. This is my IP. Our host is the host I'm going to attack with this payload, this exploit. And now we can either type exploit or run techj. I like exploit. Sounds cooler. Okay, once we've started this, we can check all the jobs. It does make it easier. I think it takes some of the understanding out of it. If you have that base understanding that you get from going through courses like the EJPT or the OSCP, then once you have that base understanding, I think Metasploit's a great tool. Until you really have that, I think that there's a lot of benefit from writing your own exploits or going in and downloading them yourself and doing that research. I'm kind of curious to see how so I think they really wanted me to do run techj. I really think you need that base level of understanding. All right, I think that's the big thing. After that, use Metasploit all you want. Yeah, it's fine. Yep, we can type the command jobs. No active jobs. Are we in? Sessions. Lists the sessions. Sessions tag I2. Okay, so I guess we're in. Yeah, they definitely want you to manually do everything. So I am in on this machine, right? When it came back and it said, hey, starting reverse TCP handler, and then it gave me a Meterpreter, right? Like that. I am definitely in on this machine, right? LS is working. It's kind of interpreting it. There's where I'm at, right? So what's the name of the spool service? So I'll get running processes. I think it's svchost.exe. Nope. Spool service. Spoolsv.exe. Jesus. Days 64. Can I ask how you found the stream? Okay, let's go ahead and move into the spool process. Yeah, how do we do that? How do we move into the spool process? Yeah, you're just searching? That's awesome, man. Glad to have you. I've only been streaming for a few days, so definitely glad to see more people here. So what command do we use to transfer ourselves into a process? Let's go ahead and get a hint on that one. Like birds, we've got to migrate. So where does it say migrate as a command? I don't know how I would even find that answer. I appreciate the support for sure. We can still try. So the process ID for spool service is the far left column, spool SV. I can not lose it here. .1316, so migrate 1316. Yeah, so what that tried to do, right, is see if I had enough privileges to go from, hey, I am in on this IceCast exploit, and I'm trying to see if I can migrate into a service that runs as root on a Windows box, like the spool service that runs as really system. So what command can we use to find out more information regarding the current user running the process that I am in? I thought it was, oh man, Windows commands. What command can we use finding regarding the current user running the process we are in? Yeah, the Saws God. So we were trying to migrate in an attempt to escalate, absolutely. It also said, hey, our initial shell process typically isn't very stable, IceCast, right? But but the spool service is running all the time for sure, so we can hope that we can get in on that. So let's see what we can figure out here. Yeah, days 64, welcome. URHacker, ur-hackr.com is a great website for CTF hacking, ethical hacking. We have a Discord that I'm a moderator on with URHacker here, trying to teach people and build up a community a little bit. Definitely a great place to go. URHacker can definitely post some details in the chat for sure. Why can't I run anything here? So if I do a question mark, so here's a bunch of commands, right? So this is where we found that migrate the server to another process, right? So what did we want? We want to find out more about the user running the process we're in. So maybe UUID, no, 6 characters. User running the process I'm in, maybe get UID. Yeah, there we go, get UID. Right, I can even take a webcam, I can take a snapshot from their webcam, right? Play a video stream from their webcam. There's ways to view their desktop. I can record audio from their microphone, right? All sorts of crazy shit in here, the Sauce God, so tons of stuff, right? Play an audio file on their system with nothing written to their disk, like get away from your keyboard, right? Crazy shit like that. Get system. What do I want? I want to find out information about the system. Probably not get system. All right, that's to attempt to probably sysinfo. Get information about the remote systems such as OS. All right, sysinfo. Yeah, so the name of this machine is Dark PC. It's running Windows 7 Service Pack 1, 64-bit. It's just in a work group, not on a domain. So, sysinfo. Okay, so what do we run to load Mimikatz? What do we run to, and this one says it's going to take some Googling. So I'm just going to Google Metasploit how to load Mimikatz. More specifically, the new version of Mimikatz. So looks like from my Google, the new version of Mimikatz is called Kiwi. Looks like Kiwi. So how do I load that? So it looks like I just type load Kiwi. Okay, so I've loaded, so load Kiwi. So now how do we figure out the privileges of our current user? Retrieve creds. Yes, these are all Kiwi commands now. So how do we figure out the privileges of our current user? Just go up to the top and go through stuff here. So background to session, terminate the session, help menu, migrate the server to another process, run commands. File system commands, probably nothing to do with user. Networking commands. Yeah, here I can dump the contents of the SAM database. So maybe desync. No, definitely longer than that. Yeah, absolutely, you're a hacker. Welcome. To run a Metasploit module, I bet is just the run command. Figure out networking information and interfaces on our system. So we are still definitely playing around here. Yeah, this all's got I am still active duty Navy. Looks like IP config or IF config. So what command do we want to use if we want to transfer files? Download a file. Nope, 6 command. Upload. If I want to upload a file to our victim computer. So now how do we find our damn privileges of the current user? No. Alright, this is the one command we just need to find that answer. It's 8 characters here. Both, this sounds good. I am retiring from active duty U.S. Navy. I've already been in for 18 and a half years, and I am going to private sector to do this. That is my plan. Oh yeah, no GS jobs. No, no. Nope, that doesn't sound like fun. I want to work somewhere where I can quit if I want and bring my phones into the building and stuff like that. How about get UID? Man. Get privs? The get privs? There it is. Okay. I don't know why it timed out, but am I still on that machine? Interesting. Let's make sure that this still works. Okay, so get privs. There we go. So get privs will get the privilege of the current users, right? So change, notify, increase working set. Great, not super useful. So let's run a few post modules. So run post Windows gather check VM. So this is stuff that you would do once you're in. Oh, post Windows gather check VM, right? This will determine for in a virtual machine. Very useful piece of knowledge for further pivoting. This is a Zen virtual machine. How about that? So now this will check for various exploits that we can run within our session to elevate our privileges. Okay, so let's try that. So run post multi recon local exploit suggester. This will check for various exploits we can run within our session to elevate privs. This is doing a lot of the legwork for us. Like it's going out and saying, hey, I know you're running Windows 7 box. You're in it as a user. What exploits are available? So it's checking its database of exploits and seeing what it can suggest. .29 exploit checks are being tried. This target probably appears to be vulnerable to most of them. Yeah, so you kind of can see here how it's kind of doing the work for us. But super useful, right? Let's try forcing RDP. So at this point, if I wanted to try one of these, I'd just hit use exploit and I'd type that in and then I'd try exploiting again, right? So let's try forcing RDP to be available. So run post windows / manage / enable RDP. And hey, insufficient privileges. Cool. And then it says, hey, for cleanup, here's how you get rid of that, right? Because that probably triggered an error on the machine. And then what command can we use in our normal Meterpreter session to spawn a normal system shell? I think it's shell. Hey, look, that looks like I'm in a Windows box. Okay, so before we move on to task 7, it has been an hour and 18 minutes, so a full hour of streaming. I'm going to go fill up my water bottle really quick, and then I will be right back. Okay, so we are back. We are back to go into task 7. So let's look at the auto routing options available to us in Metasploit. And again, thank you everyone for joining in today. This is awesome, getting some new people. Please toss me a follow. If you run a Twitch channel, let me know, and I'll throw you one back and check out what you do. I really appreciate all the people showing up tonight. So let's take a look at the auto routing options available to us in Metasploit. While our victim machine may not have multiple NICs, we'll walk through it, the motions of pivoting as though if it did, right? So for the SOSGOD pivoting, right, if it has access to other networks. Okay, so see if we can get out of this shell. Okay. So run auto route tac h. This will pull up the help menu for auto route. What command do we run to add a route to the following subnet? Use the tac n flag in your answer. So it looks like it's that first one, add a route to that. So it's a run auto route tac s, and then the IP address 172.18.1.0 with a /24. So tac n 255.255.255.0 would be the command. Boom. Additionally, we could start a SOX 4A proxy out of this session, background our current Meterpreter session, and run the command search server /SOX 4A. So by background, what is the full, so search server /SOX 4A. What is the full path? It's auxiliary /server /SOX 4A. Easy day. And once we've started a SOX server, we can modify our etc. Once we've started our SOX server, we can modify our etc proxy chains config file to include our new server. What command do we prefix our commands to run them through our SOX 4A server with proxy chains? So what command do we prefix our commands outside of Metasploit? So I have no clue. So I'm going to pull up a proxy chains tutorial. Looks like you just use the command proxy chains. All right. So that being said, we have completed this room. So we did use, one second. Oh, the joys of children. My kids are at the bedtime phase here, close to where they're fighting over the PlayStation. So anyways, we used this. We're going to go ahead and terminate this VM now because we are done with it. and I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this guy. So what do we still have open? We just have the, okay, so what all did we do tonight? We went through the TryHackMe room for Metasploit. Managed to not really look at the walkthrough, which was great. We initialized the Metasploit database. We looked at a lot of the commands, the help menus. Remember the question mark that you can type anywhere. We opened up the ice machine and got a shell on it. And then we didn't elevate privileges, but we did look at different vulnerabilities that could do that. That was the command down here at the end. Local exploit suggester, right? When we go through the room ice, we're going to go through and actually escalate our privileges and find the flags on that machine. That is the VM that we deployed for this. And then we played around with a few other things. Hey, Colin, come here, bud. Come say hi. Okay, he's pouting. Come say hi, buddy. I've got a bunch of people looking. Show me your Captain America jammies, dude. They're freaking awesome. No? Okay. So we went through... Oh, Jesus. He didn't get to play with his friends because he's got thousands because he's 6 years old. But we did exploit suggestions. When we go through the ice machine... yeah, I try, man. We'll go through and play around a little bit more. Actually compromise that machine fully. And then tier 7 was making Cisco proud, so right, auto route will allow us to stand up a proxy server so we can kind of hide where we're at, and we can try and figure out basically how to pivot to add a route to a different subnet so that we can pivot if that machine had more than one NIC. So that is it for the moment. For anybody that's going to be doing some late night, looks like we've got 8 of us in the chat right now, counting my bot, which is fantastic. I love that Stream Elements bot. I just don't have a clue on how to do anything with it. But in about 40 minutes, completely unplanned stream, I am going to come back on and I'm going to start working a little bit more on blue. So I'm actually going to stay live while I go get my kids going to bed and stuff like that, but I'm just going to go to the be right back screen again. Oh, getting started says 4 out of 6 rooms complete now. Oh, they've changed the rooms, the getting started. That's awesome. I thought I was 4 out of 5, and now I'm 4 out of 6. They added the Learn Linux, which we already did the Linux challenges. So I'll probably do that one by myself, but I do want to do blue with you guys. Let me bring that up. So blue is where we get to deploy and hack into a Windows machine, right? So we learned a little bit about Metasploit, which is kind of one of the things we needed. So we're going to scan this machine. We're going to answer some questions about what ports are open, what's it vulnerable to. We're going to start Metasploit. We're going to find the exploitation code that we're going to run. We're going to set the one required value, which is probably going to be our host. If there's one required value, it's got to be what my target is. We're going to run the exploit. We're going to get the DOS shell. Then we're going to find background the previously gained shell, convert a shell to a Meterpreter shell in Metasploit. We're going to select the module that we need to escalate our privileges. And we're going to verify that we've got system. We'll look at the processes. We will migrate into a root process. And then it looks like we're actually going to even go all the way into dumping the hash of the non-default user's password. And we're going to crack it. And we're going to see if we can find the 3 flags on the machine. Okay, so that is the plan later tonight after I get my kids to bed. And I will probably stream that again tomorrow for anybody that's East Coast or doesn't want to stay up. But that's all I got for right now. While my kids are going crazy, I'm going to go deal with that. And thanks again for tuning into the stream. I will see you guys later. Alright everybody, welcome back. I'll crank up my volume here and get started in just a minute. I am going to get my drink ready, get ready to go. Looks like I got all my kids in bed. Hopefully they stay there, so we can do a little bit more tonight. And then I think I'm going to work on a blog post for my website, which I linked in the chat. Talk about kind of the joys of streaming so far. Alright. If you're here, please feel free to give me a shout out. Let me know that you're in. It's the BRB show. Yeah, well, when you got 3 kids at home, it can tend to be. Alright, so I am still connected on my VPN. We're going to do blue. So let's deploy this machine. Okay, so now we're going to need to use some of our past knowledge from our last couple of times, right? So I've got my Kali window open here at the shell. We'll give it a minute or so for the box to come online. A fallen hope, how are you doing tonight? Alright, so we can see by our pings that this box is back online. Just an easy way to know if the box is up. Again, welcome to everybody that's here. Let's go ahead and update the stream inflow to the blue room. Alright, so here we go. So first thing, scan the machine. So I like pulling up help really quick. So again, I'm a big fan of the stealth scan because it's close to be what I'm going to do in real life. So attack SS, and we're going to go ahead and try and get the services. We could just do attack A. You know what? Let's just do that. It's not exactly what we do in real life, but we're just practicing the pen testing side of this box. I know that there's not some IT guru on the other side of the house that's going to turn off this box simply because I did attack A scan on it. I don't know if a fallen hope is even here right now. It's still a user listed in the chat. Another TV viewer, a 10, Commander Root, Days 64 TV, Inventkin, Lemon Juices 12, Lurks. All of you, thanks for joining in tonight. Okay, so this is going to be the TryHackMe Blue Room. TryHackMe Blue Room. Dark Star 7471, by the way. Here's all of his InfoSec training resources. This is one of the guys behind TryHackMe. Does a ton of stuff here. So anyways, we're still click scanning away. Anyone live out there hearing me? One of the things I'm curious is how video quality is turning out. If there's anything that I can do to make that a little better. Hey, this is Osgod. Welcome back. How is the video quality for you? Okay, and you can actually read what's on the screen? Sweet. There's a mode that I keep meaning to put in that kind of gets rid of some of the delay. Excuse me. Just haven't played around with the settings quite a bit yet. There's a few things I'm looking at doing. I want to set up subscribers and some other stuff. Okay, so it looks like our scan finished. So first question is, we went in and scanned the machine. How many ports open with port number under 1000? Under 1000. So 135, 139, and 445. So 3 ports under 1000, right? 3 ports under 1000. What is this machine vulnerable to in the form of MS, question, tech, bunch more question marks. What is this about? All right. So let's see. What is this machine vulnerable to? So I got a bunch of stuff here. It's there's the host name, John Tac PC. So let's go nmap 10.10.167.181 tac script. Boom. Okay, so while that's running, we can talk about a few things here. So, you know, SMBOS discovery, the fact that this computer is advertising its credentials would be a finding. All of this, I would go ahead and, one, I would never do attack A, I would do attack SS for a SYN scan, but then I could start delving down into these ports, right? This is all something that I would copy paste into my notes and save. The TCP/IP fingerprint, I don't really care about so much. The network distance being 2 hops doesn't matter, right? I'm VPN'd in. This is a fake box for pen testing. Host name, though, definitely. Green shot, the sauce god. So here, I'll green shot right here. This is a freaking awesome application. So if I hit print screen right now, right, I'll just show you how I do it. So if I just want my nmap results print screen, right, I can click and drag. Unfortunately, it doesn't show you what that looks like, but I drag the region, and then I can open in my image editor. So this is great, right? One thing that I messed up here, I would make sure and screenshot the IP address as well. Let's assume I did that, but I can go to this box and I can say, hey, you know, 135, or hey, I'm showing Windows Pro service pack 1. Like, you should not be publishing that. So I'd highlight that. If there was some fancy, maybe I didn't want to put out that this is John's PC that's giving out all this information. Maybe I want to obfuscate some stuff. There's an obfuscate tool that I can click on right here. And we'll just say the next thing down here I want to obfuscate. So I draw a box around that. And now, hey, you can't read that. And you can change kind of how well it does the obfuscating. You can add speech bubbles, text boxes, all sorts of stuff here. A lot of times we will go and take the outside of this, and this one's kind of a black, but we'll draw a black box around the outside, so when we paste it into something, all right, then we can go copy the image to our clipboard, and I'll pull open my OneNote, and let's say this was where I wanted it. Boom, there it is. Now I've got my screenshot ready to go. So this is how I would take notes, and I would throw all this into my report. Right? Great tool. Great tool. Okay, so let's go down here. So what are we vulnerable to? Here we go. So vulnerable to MS17 tag 010. It's a remote code execution vulnerability in Microsoft Samba version 1 servers. So MS17 tag 010. Boom. So we have scanned a machine. We have identified a vulnerability. And it looks like all the other stuff is false or access denied. So it looks like they locked down this box well enough that they're kind of only giving us one path to go down. Great thing about dash script vuln is that it tells us all this stuff. Critical remote code execution vulnerability. This is the importance of patching your shit. All right, it gives us a blog. It gives us the CVE on it. All right, and I can go and copy that link just to show it to you. So here's the MITRE website, right? The SMB server, Windows Vista, Server 2008, Windows 7. Allows remote attackers, that's us, remote attacker, that's me, execute arbitrary code via crafted packets. All right, and here's all these references to it. Yeah, so good stuff. There's even a tech note on it, TechNet post on it. Let's take a look at that really quick. And the Microsoft Security Response Center, and that link doesn't work anymore, so that sucks. We could probably search for it. MS17 tag 010. Boom, here's the Microsoft Security Bulletin for it, right? This update resolves vulnerabilities. Most severe could allow remote code execution. Critical, right? So there's a patch out for it. This is not like some fancy S0 day. There's a patch. This box isn't patched. So let's go gain some access. So let's start Metasploit. So MSF console. Okay, so find the remote code. So can I do use MS17 tag 010 maybe? Okay. So which one am I going to use? It's exploit / something. What do we got here? We got a bunch of different exploits that take advantage of this. Looks like they're all about the same. PS exec. Probably Eternal Blue. Probably not Win8 since this is running Windows 7. So let's try that one up there. So let's try this guy. So we'll copy. Right, this is why Metasploit makes things so easy. So paste. Yeah, that's correct. So we're going to use 2. Okay. So now show options and set the one required value. So options. All right. So this is something that I didn't see. This is something that I didn't really get to show in the last one. If you type options, you'll see all the different possible things, right? So hey, with that computer was in a work group, it's going to target on port 445. That's already selected. I just need to set the R hosts, right? So set R hosts. What was my box? 10.10.167.181. 10.10.167.181. Okay, so R hosts is set. The name of that is it's our hosts, not our host. So that's actually a problem here on TryHackMe. So I will actually tell them about that really quick. So if you weren't familiar with, I think most of you are familiar with Discord, but TryHackMe here has their own. It's kind of cool. If you're on a paid account, you get user grouped by the level you're on. So I'm down here somewhere below hacker at like level 5 or something. But anyways, we'll just go to subscribers help. Blue. What was it? Blue. Task 2, number 3. Blue. Task 2, number 3 has the wrong answer. Should be plural. So I don't want to give everyone the answer in case they're working on it, but there we go. Okay, so we've got it set. We're gonna go exploit. Okay, so started, connecting to target, connection established. Target OS is selected value. There's the buffer dump. Sending all but last fragment. Starting non-page pool grooming. Sending buffers. Sending final buffers. Win. Okay, so it says win. Well, that's good. So, do I have a shell? Confirm that the exploit has run correctly. You may have to press enter for the DOS shell to appear. So, enter. Boom. So, just like that, we are in this Windows machine. Oh, and look at that. Who am I in as? I am in as system. So I have owned this machine already. We are in as admin. Now confirm that the exploit is run correctly. Background to the shell. You may have to reboot the target VM. Try running it again before reboot of the target. So we have completed. So now let's escalate our privileges. I don't know what we're going to escalate them to. So we'll background that. Yes. Now, how do we... So it says research online how to convert a shell to a Meterpreter shell in Metasploit. How to convert shell to Meterpreter shell in Metasploit. How old is your laptop? The saw's gone. Yep, so they use the exploit. They set the R host. Search shell to Meterpreter. Search shell. Ooh. Latitude 6430, Intel i7. i7's not bad. I mean, I'm not a huge Dell fan myself. You running Windows on it? I mean, Intel Core i7 at 3 gigahertz with 8 gigs of RAM is pretty decent. I mean, I like a lot of RAM. I'm running 32 gigs of RAM in my desktop. But Intel Core i7 is a great CPU still, so I don't know if you really need a new laptop. It's really not bad. You could consider just, yeah, Windows 10 is probably a resource hog, huh? You could consider running like Ubuntu on it, and then doing a dual boot of Kali, something like that maybe. I'll tell you, if you live in Linux, you're going to become a Linux expert far faster. You could even go almost Chromebook style and do all your stuff that you need, like Office for in like O365 Online or Google Docs and all that, and try and live in Ubuntu. That might not be a bad plan for you. I don't know what all you do on it though. So here we go. We found a exploit that will take a shell and make it a Meterpreter prompt. So let's go back out to the TryHackMe and see if that's what we wanted. But I bet that's it. Okay, so use post slash multi slash manage slash Shelton Interpreter. Show options. What option are we required to change? Oh yeah, man. If this is all you use it for, in fact, just boot Kali on it. So it looks like this is a listener shell, right? This is it's going to connect back to us and give us a Meterpreter session. So we are going to, oh no, never mind, it's not. It's the session to run the module on, right? So we need to know what session to run it on. So we are running session 1 with this shell right now, where we are connected. So we need to set that session. So we need to change session. Yeah, that's a pain. Switching hard drives though is a pain in the ass. I'll show you a little bit about my PC when we're done if you're interested. So let's set the required options. So set session 1. Okay, so that's completed, and let's try running. My PC I built, tower I built myself a while ago. What are we doing here? Once the Meterpreter shell conversion complete, select that session for use. See, it says verify that we've escalated to NT authority slash system, but at the beginning I think I was already NT authority slash system. I'm kind of confused. Sessions. Session 2. How do I go back into a session? Shit. Your SSD is probably just a normal SATA connector. Where are we at? Where are we at? How do I select a session? Your sessions. Dump sessions. For your, if it's a laptop, I don't know what the the connector to the optical drive does. I'm not terribly familiar with messing with laptops a lot. Route traffic through a session. Write console output. Module command. So how to change sessions. Sessions dat. Okay, so maybe sessions. Use session 2. Ooh, no. Okay. Oh, tech I. So let's go sessions, session, tech I2. And sessions, tech I2. There we go. Okay. So now, what do they want me to do? Yep, select that session, done. Verify we've escalated to NT authority /system, run get system. Feel free to open a DOS shell via the command shell. Sure. And who am I? I am still NT authority /system. Background this shell afterwards and select our Meterpreter session for usage again. Okay, so I'm back. List all the processes running via the PS command. Okay, done. So they said singular rhost you could type, even though rhost is what showed in Metasploit. That's cute. Find a process towards the bottom of this list running an NT authority /system and write down the process ID. Sure. So how about 3028? We'll just write down 3028. So let's migrate into 3028. We were in PowerShell. Doesn't really matter. Now we're in this other process. Yep, this fails. We might have to reboot the machine, but we don't. We did it. All right. So for the sauce god, let me know when you're back and you're ready for me to keep going. But we are, we're in this machine. We are admin, and I am ready to move on to the next task, which is cracking the user's password. Another TV viewer, welcome. Glad to see some more people tuning in tonight. I don't know who Dexter is. You can go away. So this is the You Are a Hacker Discord channel, by the way. That's me there, Actual Tom. Streaming a bit more for anyone that wants to tune in. All right, welcome back, the Sauce God. So we are in the system, John-PC. We are an administrator. We are migrated into process 3028, which is trusted installer.exe. It is running as NT authority-/system. So we are definitely in. So now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to run the command hash dump. And that is going to, if you remember right, dump the contents of the SAM database, which is basically hashes of the stored passwords. Okay, so what is the name of the non-default user? The name of the non-default user is John. And now we're going to figure out how to crack this guy. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to throw it in a text editor. And we'll just save this out on our desktop here as John hash. John hash, not text. That is not what I want to do. Helps if I type in the right spot. Okay. So how do we copy that how do we crack that hash? So crack hash of SAM database in Kali. John the Ripper. Password cracker tool, run on a wide variety of passwords. Yeah, great long tutorial. SAM dump. John TAC format. Okay, so let's play around with this. Okay, so let's open up a new window. Let's go to our desktop where John hash exists. And let's try using John the Ripper. TAC format. Word list. Yeah, absolutely. So hashing is a one-way algorithm applied to a password. So if I hash a password, there's no reverse, right? With encryption, you can encrypt something and then you can apply a reverse algorithm to decrypt it. With hashing, it's a one-way street. So the only way you're going to crack it is by finding a word list and trying hashes of all those and seeing if you can find one that matches. /root/user/share/John/password_John.txt. Does that exist? I better see if those word lists exist. Computer root. No, not root. User. Oh god, I hate their find file thing here. User share. Word lists. Really? Where are John's word lists? Yeah, so we'll probably just wind up using the rocku.txt. Okay, so John tac format equals lm word list equals /user /share /word lists /rocku.txt, and we're trying to crack John hash.txt. So I don't know if it's telling me that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hashing is how passwords are stored. They are not stored with encryption. They are stored by hashes. So I don't know what the password is here. If the password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ... Mustang, I think the password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's give that a shot. We might have just cracked that. That is not correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ... Password can be found within the rocku.txt word list. So everything that I'm seeing here let's go ahead and paste that in again. That's not what I want. I really want to figure this out here. No password hashes left to crack. See FAQ. I'm not happy with why this isn't working. Funny thing is, if I control F the hash, so this is something that I would do before I'd even try. Something I do before I'd even try cracking a hash is I would just Google the hash in real life. Format equals NT. There we go. Okay, so it's Windows 7. So I'll have to look at the format stuff. Wife wants me to bring her a snack. So ALQFNA22, hooyah. By the way, anyone that's on the stream, you'll hear me say hooyah every time somebody says 22, because that was the whole number of my last boat, and it was a big thing there. So now, there is the correct password. So now, find the 3 flags planted on this machine. Okay. So how do we do that? Oh boy. So where would these flags be? We're in the shell. Any particular reason this machine's running Windows 7? Yeah, it's just unpatched older operating system. I don't know how the password hashes work in Windows 8 and 10, but they are definitely harder to crack. So I imagine the guy that built this chose Windows 7 Service Pack 1 specifically for this Samba vulnerability that they could show us, and then so we could dump the hash and crack it. So flags in capture the flags. Tend to be in users' documents or on the desktop. There's flag 3. So how do I... what's the cat equivalent in Windows? Anybody know? Anybody know the cat equivalent in Windows? Oh, that's cute. Type. Boom. Flag. Admin documents can be valuable. I completely agree. So we found flag 3 in John's folder. Only split the flag contents. Boom. Alright, flag 2. Windows doesn't like the location of this flag. Well, tough shit, Windows. There's flag 1 right at the root of the... So flag 1 is access the machine. Right, so the top level of the drive is a great place to look, and then in the individual users' desktops and documents folders. The source code, I honestly don't know the answer to that for you yet, but we're going to find out together. this Windows 7 box, do you think there's machines out in the world running Windows 7? There absolutely are. And it's not your bad for asking questions, man. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate an interactive stream. I actually just wish I was getting more people out there. Let's see if we can find flag 2 really quick, and then we'll chat just a little bit more. So how do I find flag 2? Well, if you look at DIR, you can search kind of everywhere. So DIR slash question mark in Windows is kind of the help. So directory dir is the same as ls, so drive path file name, so flag is what we're looking for, star, and then /s in the specified directory and all subs, and then pause after each. So flag star /s. Ooh, yeah, see why it didn't. So John's recent has a shortcut to him, but it looks like this one is in C Windows System 32 config. So C Windows System 32 config. Huh. Why didn't it like that? DAR flag star /s/p. We'll get it to pause this time. Yeah, it says C /Windows /System 32 config. There we go. SAM database elevated access, right? We definitely had to be logged in as an admin to get into that sys32 folder, probably. All right. So there we go. We have completed the blue room. Okay, so before I sign off here, wow, it's actually only 9:45, so that's not bad at all. So what all did we do? So we deployed this machine. We did some recon. We did an nmap scan. We found out how many ports it had open. We figured out with the -- script vuln what this machine was vulnerable to. And then we did some Metasploit, right? So we started Metasploit. We searched for that exploit that we got with nmap. We set our target, which was the IP address of that machine, and we ran it. And we got a DOS shell. We got that DOS shell as I think we got it as an admin to begin with, but I don't think it was supposed to pop out that way. Because they did want us to show elevating privileges. So we backgrounded the shell, and we figured out how to upgrade a DOS shell to a Meterpreter shell. So we found a post exploit code to run. We selected it into our session, we ran it, and that gave us a Meterpreter shell. And then we used get system, which Metasploit automatically goes out and finds processes that it can move into. It actually moved into process ID 2636, which was the PowerShell process. And then it had us use migrate to move to a different process just to show us how to do it. And then we used hash dump in Metasploit to dump the non-default user's password and crack it. This will dump all of the passwords on the machine, and then we cracked it with John. Okay, and then we used DAR star flag star to look for the flags on the machine and find all 3 flags, which we did. Great things to learn here. So things that, right, Google is a thing. Definitely need to use Google. And the type command in Windows, type, type, is like cat on Linux. So you can type out a text document, and that's how we got that flag. I'll tell you some other things that they like to do sometimes is they'll set the desktop background image, and the image will have the flag in it. So you'll have to like view the user's desktop. If I go exit here, back to the Meterpreter shell, and show you some things, right? Another one I've seen is this was a live CTF where you had to go into a box. The box was real, the box was running a webcam, and the webcam was pointed at a picture on the wall that had the flag written on it. So you had to actually take a snapshot from the webcam. So you had to use Metasploit and webcam snap or stream. There's another one here where I can screen share and watch the remote user's desktop in real time. We can probably actually see that right now if we can. Hey, look at that. There's Metasploit screen share. Right, does some pretty sweet stuff. So there is John's screen. He is idle at his logon prompt. I can probably set desktop maybe. No. How do I get out of that? Whatever. Anyways, yeah, some other things is having to get the user's desktop and look at that background image. Screen share would have been a great way to do it. You can also send keystrokes, send mouse events, tons of stuff here. So that is a little bit on this guy here on blue. So it took us about 45 minutes to go through it. The next one in the series is called Link, Ice Link, and then Blaster after that. So we'll keep playing around. I'll tell you, most machines in real world are harder than this, but not very. So this isn't that too far off from what you might see in real life. Okay, so that's all I got on this one. We are finished with blue, which is freaking awesome. Show you a little bit about my machine super quick, without giving away too much. So this is what I'm running. i7 4790, 4 gigahertz, 4 cores, 8 processors, and I'm running 32 gigabytes of RAM. Play a lot with virtualization. So if you look at my VMware, I've got a CS game virtual machine. Off right now, I've got a vulnerability scanner running OpenVAS, Greenbone OS, and then I've got my Kali box that we were playing with. Not a lot of other stuff on the machine. I do keep Greenshot, OneNote, Slack, and Discord, of course. And that's pretty much about it. Fortnite for the kids, keep PowerShell up to date. That's really about it, guys. So again, greatly appreciate the tuning in tonight. We've got quite a few people on here, which is freaking awesome. Yeah, thanks for the fun, man. It's been real, it's been good. Tomorrow, we're going to be done with the getting started dashboard here. I'm going to go ahead and do the Learn Linux stuff by myself, since that really isn't something that I need to show. We did Linux challenges already, so then we'll probably pick a different machine. Maybe in the complete beginner path, and we'll move on. But we have gone through enough to almost be level 6 in TryHackMe, so awesome times. Again, everyone, thank you for tuning in. I know I'm not on a set schedule yet. This COVID stuff is kind of doing whatever with us, and we'll just stream when we can. If you get a chance, though, guys, I'm telling you, if you're not here from You Are Hacker, this is a great community to join in with. So please tune in, come and check this out. It's a great community for those who are new to cybersecurity. get on the Discord, check us out, play with the missions. We've got a great community here. We've got 3 missions to get in, and more happening every day. So wonderful community, great mods. Not just me, the other guys are awesome too. They honestly do way more in the channel than I do. And our leader here in You Are a Hacker is awesome. So if you guys get a chance to tune in, please do. And I will check you on the next stream. If you want to be notified of when I'm streaming next, please throw me a follow. Catch you guys later.